What happened in a breath of snow and ashes? A Dutchman's cabin near the ridge burns to the ground, leaving behind several bodies under suspicious circumstances, poison and stabbing, to say nothing of the fire. Ian returns to the ridge with a head wound. Major Donald MacDonald questions him about Indian involvement and speaks with Jamie regarding accepting the position of Indian agent. Jamie accepts the position, if only to prevent the morally questionable Brown brothers from doing so. Jamie recalls a fortune teller in France telling him he would die 9 times before finally resting in his grave. With Claire's help, he calculates his current total at 5. Jamie and Ian ride off to make their introductions to the local Cherokee villages. Roger, accompanied by Archbug and Tom Christie, ride off to collect new Protestant settlers for the ridge. At River Run, Roger discovers Bonnet has been keeping an eye on Jem. Roger carves a toy car for Jem, calling it a vroom. Bree and Roger talk increasingly of aspects of their time. Bree develops matches with the phosphorus sent by Lord John. Claire distills ether to be used as an anesthetic. Claire operates on Tom Christie's gnarled hand, thus restoring its use. Christie decides maybe Claire isn't a horrible witch after all, though there is still some animosity between him and Jamie. Christie's daughter, Malva, starts helping Claire in the surgery. Jamie and Roger ride out to the Cherokee villages and come across another burned cabin. The couple were hanged and their children missing. They find one of the daughters, with burns too severe for her to live. Bree expresses concern that Fergus might be hitting his wife, Marzali. Claire visits Marzali at the malting shed to ask her directly, but the two of them are attacked by a group of men. Marzali puts up a decent fight in spite of his advanced pregnancy, and is eventually tossed aside. Claire is abducted. The group is headed by Hodgepile, one of Bonnet's associates who was assumed dead in the warehouse fire in Drums of Autumn. Lionel Brown is also present, as is a young man with wild hair, Donner, who asks Claire, "Does the name Ringo Starr mean anything to you?" Days go by, Claire is physically and sexually abused. The men from the ridge, led by Jamie, rescue Claire and kill all the men present, save Lionel Brown who, with his broken leg, is taken for questioning. Back at the ridge, there is debate over whether or not to kill Brown after questioning him. He escapes, and crawls to beg Claire for his life. She takes him in to patch him up, but when she turns her back Mrs. Bug suffocates him with a pillow. Marzali gives birth to Henri Christian, who is a dwarf. Ian tells Marzali of his own stillborn daughter as Fergus struggles to accept his newborn son. Roger is asked to speak at a funeral. Halfway through proceedings, the old woman is found to still be alive, though she dies minutes later. Jamie travels once more to the local Cherokee village to try and convince them of the Native Americans' fate after the Revolution, in an attempt to save them. Lizzie's fiancé, Manfred McGillivray, visits Claire and breaks off the engagement after admitting to having contracted syphilis. He then runs away from the ridge. Roger unknowingly observes Tom Christie switching his daughter. Roger causes talk on the ridge when he spends more time helping widow Amy McCullum than he does with his own family. In reconciling his need to help others with those of his family, he decides to become a minister. Amy McCullum's son must have his appendix removed. His surgery is the first on the ridge to be performed with the aid of Claire's ether. Jamie, Claire, Ian and Brianna attend a barbecue at River Run in celebration of Flora MacDonald's arrival in America. Jocasta suffers an acute pain from her glaucoma, and Claire relieves the pressure in her eyeball by puncturing it with a needle. While Jocasta is recovering, she tells Jamie and Claire that the mystery man who helped them to move the Frenchman's gold originally is back, wanting to take the gold. She still doesn't know who he is. Donner makes a comeback, surprising Bree by whistling Yellow Submarine. He explains Springer's Ottertooth original plan and how he came to Revel back in time. He is arrested for theft shortly afterward. Jamie, Claire, and Ian visit Cross Creek both for shopping and to follow a lead on Manfred's whereabouts. Jamie defends the local printer from being tarred and feathers, and then he and Claire visit the local brothel to administer penicillin to the staff. A family on the ridge is found suffering from dysentery. Many others fall ill, including Claire, who nearly dies from meningitis. Much to her dismay, when she awakes she finds that, in an effort to bring down her fever and save her life, Mrs. Bug and Malva have shaved her head. Also, Fergus tried to kill himself, but Jamie stopped him. Jamie resigns from his position as Indian agent to the Crown, declaring himself for the rebels. The ever-honorable Lord John writes letters in an attempt to dissuade him. Jamie sends Fergus and Marzali to New Bern for a fresh start, and to establish a print shop. They successfully begin circulation of a paper, with a view to print treasonous pamphlets on the side.